this is my favorite record I've made as an adult. And, again, love them all, but this one's just got a really special place. This band, I think, for all of us has a special place in our hearts. And, we're just really lucky that we kind of stumbled upon each other 20 million years ago and were able to form this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's really... All right, well, yeah. I like
summed it up, man.
I like
summed
the
it up.
album a lot. The album's cool. I like it a lot. It's my favorite.
Hey guys, James Wilson-Taylor here for Roxanne. We are backstage at Brixton Academy in London today. Rise Against headline tonight, and they've been out on the road with our friends from LS Dunes. Good to see you guys. How are we doing?
Good to see you as well. I think we're doing all right.
Good. I'm very, very glad. Welcome back to the UK. Let's start with that, because it's always great to see you guys over here. Great, great audiences. They've embraced you guys since the start, I feel. How have these first few shows been coming back over here?
It's been amazing. And, this is the first time ever that I think of any band that I've been in that we've kind of had a record release over here.
Oh wow, of course, actual record release week. That's exciting.
Cool. Yeah, so it's we're very happy to be here, and we wanted to show everybody how important it is for us to be over here and release a record. So
yeah, well, congrats on the record. Let's dive right into it. I've talked to several of your bandmates about this album already. I think it's great. I think it's really, really interesting to see the new places you've gone to. Let's kind of start there a little bit, because I think there's a few unexpected moves on there. We heard that from some of the singles as well. Things like Machines, kind of very different direction, but it suits you boys. Tell me a little bit about that process, and I guess where that desire came from to just kind of try all manner of new stuff.
I think we're just trying to stay in a place where it's just exciting and interesting for us. I don't think we want to really, just keep doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
And just, I think we're always throwing ideas around, and sometimes the ones where we're like, I don't know, is this for us?
Sure.
Like, is this something we can do? I think those are the ones that have actually turned out to be the most exciting ones.
Yeah. No, I very much agree. I think the title track in particular is a real standout moment, and really, really interesting and impressive. And it's got to be nice as well to finally be at the stage where, I guess because the record's out, you'll probably start seeing the audiences get to know some of these tracks a little bit more and everything. How have the reactions actually been going down live?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, for us too, these songs have been written and recorded for a while, so having the album out and being able to play them, it kind of breathes new life into it for us, and seeing the reaction, people already are singing along and stuff. It's been fantastic.
We've been playing a song like Machines in the States a bunch, and people were just getting to know that, and then to play it over here and have people sing back. I know Anthony had a moment with that, which was really cool, because these are new songs, so it's interesting to see people, kind of start to absorb them.
Yeah, absolutely. Where did you feel like you learned, what did you learn, I should say, from the kind of previous record? I talked to Anthony a little bit about this, and just nice time of reflection when you finally put that first record out that was obviously kind of worked on a bit in secret. No one really knew what to expect. You come out there. It must have been a big learning process doing that debut with this group for the first time. So what were the things from there that you thought, okay, I want to grow on that, or I want to push against that?
I think, learning to be in a room together and write songs, and actually having a proper pre-production with our producer, Will Yip, where we could kind of workshop these songs and kind of, if Anthony's doing a certain cadence of a vocal here, I could match it with a drum fill, or Tim could do a bass riff over that. You know what I mean? Like, just having little tiny moments that kind of round out the edges of the record, which was very a different process for us. So.
Yeah, and kind of being able to anticipate each other's moves a little bit more, right? So like when we were doing Past Lives, it was just kind of like throwing everything out there and tracking bass and tracking drums, and not really having that like bird's eye view of what we were trying to do with the song. And then I think with this album as a whole, really, I think we were able to kind of get the songs to a place where they were exciting, and okay, this is kind of the skeleton of it, but what does it do, right? And where do we need to pull back a little bit and really let things breathe? And where can we get really dense and kind of that melodic thing where everyone's doing their own thing and it makes sense, but then there's other times where we really kind of like challenged ourselves to show more restraint in a lot of areas, and let Anthony have a lot more room to do what he does, because he's incredible.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think it was it added a new dynamic to the writing process and everything, especially to, like Tucker was saying, to hear the songs kind of kind of come into their own in a room
Yeah.
together instead of being like, oh, I wonder if we'll be able to play that.
Right, sure,
You
sure,
know, I
sure.
wonder if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Slightly different way of doing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned Will there as well, because that seems like such a vital element, because you guys obviously have, your own storied careers and songwriting history, and then to be able to have someone there to bring you all together, I suppose, and kind of manage the different creative ideas in that way.
Yeah.
It seems like he's played a really important role on this record in particular.
Oh, he's the best. And he's such a cheerleader and a champion, and being able to keep us excited and kind of guide us in the right direction, but also not have it seem like, no, do it this way,
Right, sure.
or do it that way. He really kind of he's such a great energy to have in the room with us. So
Yeah.
It's also good because I feel like you get the five of us in a room and we could literally write forever.
Right.
We could write a song so much that we ruin it. So to have someone be like, stop, that's good right there. Like, try this, that, and the other thing, and then that be the thing, and we're like, okay, I guess it's done.
Yeah.
So left to our own devices, we'd be like still writing.
You'd
one
still be working
song.
on it right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
You'd
yeah,
still
yeah.
be delivering the
ruining
album.
it to death.
The great unheard album by
Yeah,
LS
yeah,
Dudes.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
never finished.
Yeah.
Never finished.
Quadruple record.
we're a jam band now.
Yeah, that's it. The new fish. Here they
yeah,
come.
yeah.
We like it. I remember Frank was saying that he feels this is genuinely the best thing that any of you guys have ever done in any of your respective bands. I'd love to hear your take on that. Obviously very proud of it, but do you feel the same way? I mean, you must be delighted with how it's come out, but where do you feel it sits in that way?
Listen, I mean, every record I've been a part of, not just Thursday, but all, put on a bunch of records, and they're all my favorites. But like, I can honestly say that this is my favorite record I've made as an adult. Again, love them all, but this one's just got a really special place. This band, I think, for all of us, has a special place in our hearts, and we're just really lucky that we kind of stumbled upon each other 20 million years ago and we're able to form this.
Yeah, I mean, it's really all right. Well, yeah, I like
summed it up, man.
I
He
like
summed
the
it up.
album a lot. The album's cool. I like it a lot. It's my favorite.
It'll do.
Thanks,
That'll do.
Tucker. Yeah.
Balances well. We've got to have the light with the shade when it comes to these interviews. We have to balance it out a little bit, guys. Balance it out. But I think you've hit the nail on the head genuinely about like that freedom in there as well. Again, this is something your bandmates have already said, but like that, this could be anything. Like there are no rules. I know that's been a mantra that's kind of been said a lot of times, but that's a really lovely place and very rare, I feel, in a band.
And I think too, kind of to your point, when we were writing, the early Thursday stuff, it wasn't like we need to sound a certain way, right? We can just do whatever. And then the longer any band goes on, you build your song base and your creative process, and you end up inherently in a position where you're like, is that our song or is it not, right? And
sure.
where's that line? And with this band, we're able to take any idea and say, like, it doesn't matter, right? Like whether we think it's our song or not, like, let's explore everything that excites us, and however it comes out on the other side, we'll see. But we don't ever try to critique or dissect anything during the creative process. It's purely just whatever we can do to kind of keep exciting each other about what we're doing and build that up. And then wherever it lands, no set expectations on what it should sound like or what it shouldn't sound like.
Which is a nice way to be.
It
really,
is.
really
Yeah,
nice
it's
way
very
to be.
liberating.
Yeah, definitely very, very freeing for you guys. I would be remiss if I didn't briefly mention Thursday, because obviously what an absolute delight to see some new music from Thursday all these years later. I mean, absolutely incredible. Unexpected, took us all by surprise, but what a delight. And you guys must just be absolutely over the moon to see the reaction to that band still. New audiences coming to Thursday all these years later.
It's really cool. We love what we do, you know what I mean? And I love that band, and I love writing songs with them, and it's so nice to be able to like put out new music, when no one thought we were ever going to put out new music again. And the reaction has been awesome. And I really think that, seeing, like different people in the crowd now and having the audience kind of grow this late in the game is really special. And, just again, really lucky to be surrounded by, we have like a, kind of like a collective of people, all these bands that kind of came up together, and we all, thrive off of putting out new music and playing shows and all this stuff. So,
Yeah.
It's pretty rad.
No, fully agree. I mean, the other nice thing as well, just looking at the summer calendar, I remember talking to Jeff a while back about, it must have been about the Shrine show when Mike M first came back, and and those guys being like, had to be you guys, had to be Thursday there because of course it's the first show back. Similarly, if that band's playing a stadium in New Jersey, there's no one else I want to see on that lineup with Mike M than Thursday, because it's the scene celebration, and that's, my God, playing that particular stadium in a hometown has got to be an exciting one to see in the calendar, I am sure.
It's wild, man, and I got to give props where props are due. Like Mike M referenced us as one of their favorites when they started, and they've taken us along on this journey and have been paying it back ever since, and that's that's something really special. You know what I mean? They remember us little guys.
Yeah. Not so little anymore. Not so little these days. I'm not having that. Before I let you go and start getting ready for the show, gentlemen, we've got to mention a couple of things here. Obviously, Out with Rise Against. We talk about history. My God, you must go back with those guys years and years and years. Got to be so lovely to do a tour like this in rooms like this, but knowing you got even more friends on the road. That's got to be so lovely, right?
It's ridiculous. We've known them basically since the early 70s. So it's we all kind of came up together again. We took Rise Against out on one of their first tours, so it's wild. Another band that's paying it back, it's just a traveling, buddy system.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And they're absolutely tearing it up every single night. And they've played the songs the same way when they were in their 20s as they do now. It's same energy. The crowd's just bigger and more wild, and they still remained, their roots. It's really rad to see.
Yeah, and that's not nothing, man. Still being able to play it like you did when you were in your 20s. My
Absolutely.
God.
And even better, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Such a great band. Such a great live band. I guess I'll leave you with this, gents. What are we thinking is next, really? This band can go anywhere. We've said that. And it was nice to see a couple of kind of standalone singles between the albums and stuff as well. Are we just kind of taking each day as it comes? Have we got any idea what might be coming down the pipeline?
Kind of. We're always writing, right? We were home. So the Rise Against tour is 2 legs. We did the U.S. and then we took a little bit of time, and now we're over here. We were home for a few weeks, and we were just just throwing ideas. We already have we have 2 songs. So we're writing in backstage. We have an acoustic, and
great.
we're working on things. We would love to come back on a proper headline tour.
Yeah,
we're doing a run in the States, April into May. The summer's a bit crazy with everyone's schedule, so we're just gonna kind of see how it goes, but we're just gonna do whatever we can, whenever we can, and keep it as exciting as possible.
Yeah,
I think people thought we were gonna do one record and be done. You know what I mean? And I think that we've done one record, an EP, and now a new record.
Yeah.
So I think that there's definitely gonna be more music from us. Don't know when, but like Tim said, we write constantly.
Yeah.
Every single day there's something new popping up. So it's all about us taking time to not be on the road, to sift through the bones that we have of these other songs and create more. So we're definitely gonna be back around soon with new music and all that stuff.
That's interesting hearing having a little bit of a backstage there, because I feel like bands always fall into one or two camps. They absolutely love writing on the road, or they really fucking hate it. But how do you actually find it? Yeah,
it's difficult to write on the road, especially when you're traveling overseas and you can't bring some of your gear. So we just, when it strikes us, we just try to capitalize on it, right? We don't force anything, but we kind of have a thing where it's just whatever comes up, just chase it, right? If there's something that grabs you and something that you hear someone playing, and don't say, oh, let's work on that later. It's just right now, while we're hearing it, while we're inspired by it, let's see where it goes, and that's it,
Yeah, you can't plan for Tuesday at 4:00 to catch lightning in a bottle. You know what I mean? It's kind of you gotta, like Tim said, you gotta kind of grab it when it's there. And if that's backstage and there's a riff, we record it and take it. You know what I mean? Because that could be the next song. You know what I mean? Any little thing that we do it could be the next song for us. So you gotta capture it while it's there.
Yeah.
So.
I think isn't that I remember Frank saying that's basically how the title track, to bring it back to that's basically how it kind of came together, right? He was grabbing a new guitar, that riff just kind of came out. It was crap, gotta record that, send it to the guys. What a lovely way of working though. Again, being able to just be is this something? And knowing that, there's a creative team around here that all know their stuff.
When that came into the inbox, that song was called Violet.
Wow.
And it wasn't meant to be the title of the record or anything. It was just anytime any one of these guys send a song, it has a name, whether it's or something, whatever it might be, the humming of the riff, So that one was just called Violet, and so it's kind of like the fucking pillar of the record.
Yeah,
you know.
oh, it's amazing. Did any of the rest of the tracks actually? Did they come kind of fully formed like that in terms of titles or anything? Have any of the temporary titles made the
Machines,
cut? Oh wow,
which Tim wrote.
interesting.
Yeah.
So Machines was a demo that I had,
Right.
and I was like, like, oh, I have guitar on it and this, and sometimes you'd feel a little bit bad being like, oh, I already wrote guitar or something, right? Right. And that was one too where it was like, I don't know, is this us, or I don't know. And then I remember I sent it to Tucker, and you fell in love with it.
Oh yeah. That's when I knew the record was going to be good. When I heard that song.
Yeah, and that one, that was the working title was Machines. It was just like, here it is, and then it was just when I'm working on stuff, I just look around. I'm like, let me try to find a name for, you know what I mean? It's like you just have to let it happen. But yeah, and then I sent it, and Travis took the guitar part and kind of ran with it, and Frank added his thing, and then Anthony, and then in the studio, it's like you just see where it goes, right? You never want to think too much. You're gonna just let it ride a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so interesting to hear you say that that's when the record clicked for you as well, because like that was such a great single when it came out. As a man of a certain age who was there in the early 2000s, remembering what those New York bands all sounded like, and I was like, oh, that's so interesting to hear these guys take on that kind of period and that kind of sound. Like, I mean, was that a kind of direct inspiration, or it just kind of come out that way?
I mean, I think it ended up being like, oh, I guess that's where the idea maybe sparked, but I don't think we ever. Listen, we wear our influences on our sleeves, right? I don't think we ever.
I think everyone does, right?
Yeah,
really.
And we never set out to be like, let's write a song that sounds like this or like these two bands. And but sometimes it comes out and it's like, oh, that is in that style. Yeah. But we can take our approach. I know that by the time it gets through all five of us, like it'll sound like us, and not
that's the
derivative or like a carbon copy, or we're trying to do something. But it is exciting to kind of hear songs come out and be like, oh yeah, I guess we can do that kind of stuff. Or I guess we can do this. Being
able to stretch yourselves.
It's also super rad that you can, like Tim sent the working title Machines, right? And then Anthony, who is a fucking brilliant poet, writer, was just like, yeah, that's a cool name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like none of us are so precious about our instrument that we can't kind of let somebody else write the guitar riff or somebody else hum the drum beat. It's like whatever's best, and even Anthony. Just like, okay, let's call it Machines. Yeah, sure, let's call the record Violet. You know what I mean? I think that just sums up the band.
Yeah, amazing. Anyway. Proper collaboration. That's why it works, I think, guys. That's why it works. Proper trust and collaboration. Gentlemen, I'm going to let you go and get ready for another great show, but it's always great to catch up. Look forward to seeing whatever comes next. And congrats again on the album, guys. Really,
Thank
really
you so much. Thank you for caring.
All right, good to see you guys.